Hello, friends. Welcome to this podcast channel, Center of Excellence Pharma 4. In today's episode, I am going to discuss about compliant by design. This is about digital regulatory strategies in Pharma 4 landscapes. That's what it is my objective. To give you a brief introduction about our company, we have a focus on Center of Excellence Pharma 4. Our goal is various emerging technologies like cloud, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, blockchain, robotics, chatbot. Many things are coming up, many technologies are coming up. They are evolving it actually. And how these technologies can help to solve the challenges problems into pharmaceutical industry. As we know, pharma is also facing through a lot of challenges, mainly into supply chain management, regulatory documentation, and to give support to the patients, customers. We have created a huge knowledge base onto our website. We have designed a course and it's online onto Udemy platform, Smart Manufacturing in Pharma, about 20 modules. Our YouTube channel is there for last 5 years and it is also focused onto Center of Excellence Pharma 4, starting from business strategies going up to the audits and validation. Podcast channel which you are now listening is focused onto the recent developments in technology, in business processes, and about implementations and getting the desired expected benefits. We also have a book series onto Amazon where books are available on Kindle as well as paperback. So I request all of you to subscribe the channels, use them, give us a feedback, give us your suggestion, share with your network. So let's start into the detailing. So this is what is the landscape which I tried to give you and show you how those regulatory strategies are going to help. So my agenda is now, it's an introduction, understanding about the Pharma 4 framework, regulatory implications of digital transformations, the compliant by design, benefits of proactive compliance strategy, digital technologies enabling regulatory compliance, implementation strategies for regulatory success, challenges and future directions, and conclusion. Now, Pharma 4 and digital transformation, they are integrated, they are interconnected. The intelligent systems are revolutionizing the manufacturing processes and all. They have to work together. So there are huge number of opportunities which will help for improving the efficiency, generating the innovation culture, helping to have a better productivity, profitability. Now, as you know, the pharma is also facing with the regulatory challenges. So now complex regulatory landscape is also getting increased. So there is need for new approaches to be considered, where how the data can be captured by IoTs and then that can go directly into the system and then how those documentation can be helped and created and how it will have a minimum errors at the same time saving into the time. So all those things are to be really taken into consideration. And this needs compliant by the design strategy. So you have to design your strategies accordingly. So embedded compliance and digital initiatives have to get integrated. They have to work out together. So implementing specialized information management system is a key area to achieve the desired success. And now artificial intelligence powered tools are can be designed, can be developed, algorithms can be built up to predict those regulatory issues. Right? Now, as you know, how we are going to move from Industry 4 to Pharma 4. So, Pharma 4 overview is adoption of Industry 4 to the pharma manufacturing, or we can get extended to digital supply chain management. So, linking up demand planning, supply planning, operations planning, and everything. And this should address the unique challenges and requirements into the pharma industry. So how that origin of Pharma 4 has come up? It's been designed by International Society of Pharma Engineering. So they have developed a model, they have developed a concept and all that, which is integrating the digital technology and knowledge-based processes. So the historical context is there that Germany has initially developed Industry 4 in 2011, and 2017 ISP has come out with the Pharma 4. Now, what are the phases of industrial revolution? There, earlier it was a mechanized, then it becomes an electrical, then becomes a computer, and now we are really looking for the digitization, seamless integrations, and all. So these are the distinctive features of the Pharma 4. The key components of technologies which are going to contribute into this thing is artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, cloud computing, big data analytics, blockchains, and all. And these are going to contribute into drug development, manufacturing, quality control, pharma for operating models, and all that. What are the new regulatory challenges? The new regulatory challenges are there now. Everybody is looking out for the innovation and efficiency, the improvements into the processes, and where it can bring the better productivity, better performance, better profitability, and all that. And this should also support the new regulatory challenges which are coming up and all that. So this is tightening the compliance requirement. No, basically, so you have to have a focus starting from the clinical trials, data integrity, real-time data capturing about the evidences, process parameters, and that consideration is increasing and all that. And how artificial intelligence and machine learning applications will have a scrutiny about the data, which can lead to you for a better decisions making. As we know, we are all discussing about the digital transformation with the data driven decision making. So that should be our concepts behind that actually. So rethinking about the regulatory approaches are also to be thought about it, and it should have a interconnected systems to reach to a pharma 4 stage and all that. So what is the impact of the internal processes? There are a lot of internal processes and they have to really work together. So impact of internal process that it should improve the efficiency and then the data quality. As you know, earlier we had a analog based, silos based data compilation creation for a specific operation or a workstations and all that. Now we are really looking and discussing about enhancing the collaboration, seamless data sharing, which should really help in a better decision making and all that. And it should really help to support the SOPs, standard operating procedures and all, and then that should accommodate the new workflows. When we are now sharing the data across the various systems, various processes, and all that, this new data management practices have to be incorporated, and that should help company or organization to move to the transition to Pharma 4. That's what is our objective. So you have to develop the strategies for compliances as well as the data sharing with the regulatory framework and all. And that is where you can achieve the full potential benefits about the digital technologies and all. So we have to move from the quality by design to compliant by design. Now, this is what it is the change which we'll have to really think about it. So when we think about quality by design, we are trying to integrate the quality considerations from the outset point of view, which transforms the product development. Now, compliance by design, when you are talking about the principles are changing, it should ensure that compliance considerations are also built into the system, which are relevant to the Pharma 4 landscape. So that's a change. And then you have to think from the future point of view. You have to have a proactive compliance planning. Now, if this is going to happen, what should really we do it? So focus on to regulatory requirements throughout the product life cycle, which should really help to build or develop a comprehensive compliance master plan and all that sort of thing. This is where we call it the quality target product profile, no? Which is uh, short form is taken up at QTPP actually. And critical quality attributes are to be taken into considerations and all. Now this leads to the data integrity again by design. So data integrity by design is it has to incorporate from the planning stage that what are the requirements about the systems, from regulatory point of view, from business processes point of view. So it will discuss and compile how we are going to promote those critical thinking into those data flow. As you know, data flow, if you look at it, a complete digital supply chain, it can be order to delivery. If you look at it only manufacturing execution system, it's a material delivered for the productions and then going up to production and then handing over the products batches to the warehouse. So these are the things which we will have to really start thinking and discuss out how and where that the data will flow and how where you want to really forward it to it and all that. Now there are ALCOA principles are there. That's attributable, legal, contemporaneous, original, accurate. It's a complete thing which going to compile all the data should be really integrated and all. That is what is the thought process or the principles or the concepts which you will have to think about it. And how this is going to work onto the Pharma 4 environment. So it has to highlight the cybersecurity concerns, increases the data integrity and all those things. And that will lead to the quality behavior and all. Now, what are the benefits of proactive compliance strategy? It has to have a reduction in regulatory risks, actually. Now, we should have such a system that it will automatically take care of all your compliances. The systematic tracing will be there throughout the product life cycle. That means basically when you start manufacturing till it reaches to the customers or the patients and all that. The entire thing should have the risk needs to be monitored and all. That will help to accelerate your time to market the products. So it will have a faster introduction about the new product. It will also minimize the costly remedication effort. That means if there are any disruptions, any challenges, any product callbacks, or anything is there, those proactive approaches should really reduce the need for the 30 medication so that whenever your product is moving, it should be absolutely foolproof. Right? All quality requirement, all regulatory documentation requirement are taken care and all that. And this will help the culture into the organization. So compliance becoming now a integral part of the business operations and all that. Earlier, it was a separate quality department, but now the entire organization has to build a culture about the quality and all that, and that will mitigation of the negative events actually. The events maybe they're into supply chain issue or the product contamination, maybe the handling or something like. So those risks should be reduced by inexperienced staff and reduce head counts and all that. Now, this needs to be supported by a regulatory information management system. So, what is that regulatory information management system? It is a centralized software platform which will be simplifying those regulatory products applications and for the complete life cycle tracking. This will enable the end-to-end monitoring about all those regulatory activities. Actually, as you know, we are all governed by the CGMP requirement and all those CGMP documentation from the regulatory point of view are to be monitored, to be maintained, to they need to be accurate, to be into a real-time basis. Actually, all those needs to be taken into consideration. So that will help in submission management, either for the product development, marketing, or something. It will also help in consistent compliances and all. It will have a collaborative approach across the complete cross section of the team collaboration. Earlier, it was in analog, it was a database silos were there. Now, when we are moving to a digital or when we are moving to the Pharma 4, it is a cross team collaboration which is really required, starting from demand planning, supply, operations, executions, and all that. And now there are a lot of advanced tools for that workflow automations and all that coming up, and that is going to give them more competency than all that. Now, when we are moving or thinking about it, the new emerging technologies which are coming up, like artificial intelligence, the predictive compliances, and all that, we have to adopt to them, we have to use them, and this is going to revolutionize our regulatory compliances. So, artificial intelligence and machine learning are now transforming the compliance monitoring and all that because they are capturing all the data, they are flagging the potential risk or disruptions which may come before even the audit can happen it and all that. So you can really take into consideration. So you have to really make a foolproof system and all. And that requires a proactive approach actually for the compliance point of view. This will address all those issues before the regulatory actions are taken place and all that stuff there. So this particular thing of artificial intelligence and predictive compliance market itself is expected to increase more than 7 billion. And that will really help to have a good growth rate in about adoption by almost 20% because of the cost and time reduction, which it can really help in a significant saving into those particular development process and implementation. Then we discuss about ECTD, that is the Electronic Common Technical Documentation. You must be also all aware that ECTDs are in the electronic format and that's becoming a strong area for submitting the documentation, amendments, supplements, and the reports and all that. Now, when we are thinking about integrating ECTD and Pharma 4 capabilities is most important challenge. So this is really going to help in bringing the benefit of streamlining the submission process, improving those things. It will improve the overall compliance processes and all that. But there are some concerns that it's to give a thought onto the long-term visibility and messaging standards and something like that. And this is where ICH has recommended moving forward to ECTD and uh, Pharma 4, that is ECTD version 4 implementations has been suggested and all that. Now, this all is going to help with cloud-based regulatory solutions and all that. As you know, almost all pharma companies are moving towards a cloud-based solution. It becomes very easy to monitor the data and share with all stakeholders for their decision makings and all that. So the certain benefits which I have just listed it out over here is the scalability and accessibility. When you're using the cloud-based, your entire essential stuff, scalability of the data or the regulatory compliances can go to cloud, and then that will have accessibility features from the collaborations of all those stakeholders. No, again mentioning from your demand planning, supply planning, operations, manufacturing, logistics, and everything and all that. Now, new concept is coming up is like business processes as a service, which can really help in cost-effective framework can be built up, and that will lead to operational efficiencies and compliance maintenance and all that. It will also have a secure data sharing solutions between the service providers and those who are going to get linked up that outside parties who are going to use the data or share the data for their decision making or something like that, and that will maximize the resources and enhance the review and submission process. And now, as we know, industries are becoming a global collaboration. So, these cloud platforms can easily help to cover up across all geographies and all that, and that will lead to a global pharmaceutical industry development and all that. Now, when we are moving to this, we have to also keep it in mind about the digital maturity assessments. Actually, as we have, if we can also refer our other platforms where we have already discussed about the maturity level one, two, three, four, like that and all that. So here you have to really consider that also. So importance of digital maturity assessment is very important. When you start implementing the digital transformations, cloud technologies, or looking for the pharma, you should do that assessment initial phase, where you are standing and how your regulatory requirements and digital maturity are working together or something like that, and then that you will build up a plan or an idea or a strategy, how you will go on adopting. So here I just mentioned that 6 stages of digital technology adoption can be drawn. Depends upon the company, organization, where you stand and all that. But normally we recommend there should be 6 steps should be there. So six phases should be there, and then those outline phases from basic thing to the full adaptability are to be worked out, and that will help in transitioning from pharma initial thing to the pharma 4 level. So that's the objective. Now, along with this, you have to also think about the validation. So, as you know, pharma industry is looking not only for the uh, regulatory compliances, but that requires a validations also. So earlier validation steps, which not traditional, were not really sufficient for such digital systems or dynamic systems or integrated systems and all that. So you have to think about the new validation approach and all this. You can also refer to our YouTube channel where I had a lecture on to digital system validations also. So you can refer that. It will be also useful to you actually. So you have to consider the effective integrations about the various components. You have to ensure the seamless interoperability, and that will lead to optimal performance and all that. Now you will have to think about Pharma 4 validation, which have been designed by ISP also. So you can think how you will incorporate them and how you will prioritize your real-time quality check. Now with the IoT like technologies, cloud interface. You can have a real-time quality checks available across the complete digital supply chain, and that will really help in monitoring or checking up any possibilities of digital disruptions and all that actually. Now, this again I discussed onto various my other episodes also, various YouTube channels also. Change management and cultural transformation is must. It is very, very essential for getting a success onto Pharma for implementation processes. The digital transformation requires this. No, we are habituated with the old style of working where it was actually analog systems. It will be on data silos systems and all. Now here we are looking, thinking in a much bigger way. It's a broader way. We are looking of integrating the various systems, the solutions onto a one platform. So there are requires a significant of organizational changes are required, and this success depends upon the effective change management and how you accept it, how your culture, process, and then resources work together. I always mention into my earlier lectures also. It has to work as a holistic approach. It has to work as a head, heart, and hands. So they all have to work together, and that will encourage the successful integrations into a Pharma 4 technology. This requires a good, effective communication with all those stakeholders, and those address should concern in an early way. Actually, collaboration approach is essential. Again, I'm coming back to that. Actually, since we are looking at for the digital initiatives, we have to be open on to collaborating with all those stakeholders. Again, there are a number of stakeholders. Some are internal, some are external, but we have to collaborate with almost everyone and all that. The workforce development is again a challenge. We have to identify the skills the present team members have it, and what is their background, what is their experience and all that, and what really we are going to look further from the Pharma 4 implementation point of view. So you have to identify those background requirements and all, and how that transitioning will take to from the local paper-based systems to digital documentation-based regulatory systems and all that. And those skills where we have to teach them about the cloud technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and more than that, it is a data driven decision making, how it's going to work and how it's going to benefit to that workforce development needs to be discussed it out and all that. Now, when we discuss all this, it also requires the data security and privacy concerns and all that. Now, this is a huge amount of data, and then as we are looking and thinking and discussing about the integration of the data, availability of the data to the all the stakeholders and all that, we have to also ensure that the data it needs and it is preserved to be a secure thing. We have to protect the data because this data is a very sensitive data, and whether it's a process parameter, whether it's a patient's health parameters or something like that. So there are new vulnerabilities may happen because we are discussing and talking about the interconnected systems and all. Sorry. So comprehensive strategies are to be developed for the data governance and all that will ensure the regulatory compliance. So partnerships for effective implementations is essential. Sorry. So partnerships for effective implementation is must, which will collaborate with the digital technology providers, no? So, because there will be different stakeholders, different technologies, different processes, different systems, different softwares will be there. They need to get integrated in. And that is where the harmonization of the global regulatory requirements which are coming out are to be integrated. So there are going to be many challenges in implementing this various digital regulatory strategies, and because in the different regions they may have a different varying requirement. No, because we are talking about the different geographies, and different geographies may have a different requirements depending upon country, different upon region, or depending upon the different company policies or something like that. So you have to think about that there are tools-based approach should be there when you are thinking about adding in harmonizing the regulatory requirements, mitigate the inadvertent risks which may happen it, and that should really encourage the collaboration. And this is what is more important, more challenge to build up a efficient and a secure data sharing system. So adopting the compliance strategy is very important. So pharmaceutical companies must all stay informed, know what is really happening it at various manufacturing or operation steps and all that. And then European medicine agencies have a certain mandate which also needs to be, so some of those examples which you'll have to think about it. Some of the other the new emerging regulatory technologies which are coming up is blockchain technology, which can help in enhancing the transparency and traceability, which will help in building up a security in a pharma digital supply chain, and that will reduce the risk of counterfeit drugs and all. Digital twin is again another technology which will help in simulate the biological processes. So you will have a practical shop floor process, and then you can also have a virtual processes which can really give you and then validate those ideas at a shop floor level can be discussed over there and all. And now with AI and ML capabilities are building up, advanced analytics and real-time monitoring will take place, and that will also help in maintaining the compliances and all. So after this thing, let me come to a conclusion that we have to think of adopting a compliance by design approach. You know, we have to think, we have to design the systems accordingly and all that. And that should leverage the capabilities of digital technology to effectively navigate the entire digital supply chain management system as far as the Pharma 4 requirements are there, or the concepts are there, and that is where you will get the benefits from the transformations. So technological foundations and digital regulatory strategy, they have to get integrated. So now AI-powered compliance tools are available, ECD4 is available, cloud capabilities are available. So how those will integrate to build the digital maturity is to be drawn, and that is to be thought about it actually. So that's the broad idea what I just wanted to share with you in a short time. But I'm quite sure that you will find more details onto our other platforms also. At the same time, if you have any suggestions, do write to us. Uh, if you need anything which has not been covered up, or you want to have more detailed discussions, our research team will definitely help you. They will design those new episodes or the course cultures and all that. Do share your feedback. Do share with your network also. Thank you. Bye.